Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class for the first elementary grade. Our textbook is Weekend 1 and today inshallah we will cover Unit 1 Animals Phonics Practice number 1 on page 26. This lesson will be presented by me, teacher Mazana Harbi, so let's begin. Quick revision in our last lesson. In our last lesson, we did listen, say, practice words with 4 important alphabets. And these alphabets were the letter S, and also the letter T, and U, and V. So we said that it is important that we know these letters and also to pronounce them and also to memorize words related to these letters. So let's remind ourselves of these words. Let's listen to them one more time and then we know how to trace them and learn the words that related to them. So the first word we had is the first word, which is sun. Sun. That starts with letter S. And also the second word that starts with letter T, which is tiger. Tiger. And also the third word that starts with letter U, which is umbrella. Umbrella. And then the last word that starts with letter V, which is vase. Vase. Very well. So we said that these 4 important letters S, T, U, and V are very important that we know them. Not only this, but also we memorize words with these letters. So let's quick remind ourselves of each of these words. I'm going to say them and I would like you to say them with me real quick. So here we have sun, tiger, umbrella, vase. Very well. So not only this, not only we did pronounce these letters and also to memorize words with these letters, but also what we did is that we did trace and copy these letters. So what we did last time is that we took the tracing, and here I'm going to show only examples. We did trace each of these letters like this, maybe 5 or 6 times, and after this, after finished tracing, what did we say is that you can be able to write them on your own and copy them on your own. So we said that after you do trace these letters more than 7 times, then at the end it is your turn to write the letter on your own. This is by this way it will help you not only know memorize the letter, but also to know how to write it properly. And we did this with all the letters. We did this with all the letters. So we did trace all of these letters more than 7 times. And then after we traced them, we did copy them on our own. So after we did trace them several times, we did at the end we did copy them on our own, and this will help us to have better writing. This will help us to have better writing when we trace and write these letters. So we did this with letter S, with letter T, and also with letter U, where we did trace letter U 7 times, maybe more, and then the final thing we did, which is that we write it on our own at the end. We write it on our own at the end. So with letter U and finally with letter V, because we already learned words with these letters. For example, we know with letter S we have the word sun, and with letter T we have the word tiger, and with letter V we have umbrella, and with letter V we have vase. So From last lesson, we did trace them more than 7 times. And also after finishing all the tracing, at the end, we did write these letters on our own. So now let's get to know our objectives in today's lesson. At the end of this lesson, we hope that you will be able to trace the first letter you hear and write it on the line. So as we did with the previous semesters, here we have a set of words or letters that we need to trace. But first, I would like you please to open your books on page 26. I would like you please to open your books on page 26. So, as I was saying that we did learn or we did practice these worksheets from the previous semesters, where we have several letters like the letters you can see here, and all we have to do is to trace them first, and then after we finish tracing these letters, we do write them here on the line. So now what we're going to do is we're going to practice these exact letters. So here we have 6 letters. Let's listen to them, which is letter U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to listen to them one more time. Also, we're going to trace the first letter from this list, and also, or the first letter we heard, and also we're going to write them here on the line. So let's listen and trace and write the first letter so we can know what we should do with the rest. So let's start with number 1. With number 1, the first letter we have or we need to trace is letter U. Letter U. So now what we're going to do is we'll go to letter U and we're going to trace it. We're going to trace letter U. Maybe color it a bit. So we're going to trace letter U, and after we do trace letter U, now it is time to write it down. After we trace letter U, now it is time we write it here on the line. So like this. Like this, we do trace letter U. We do trace letter U. So this is how we're going to practice all of these letters. Listening, tracing, writing. So we finished with the first one where we did listen to the letter U, and also we traced the letter U, and also we did write it on the line. Now let us move on to number 2. Let's listen to the verb or the letter with number 2, and once we listen to the letter, then we need to trace it. The letter in number 2 is letter V. Letter V. So here we did listen to letter V, and what we have to do is to trace it. To trace letter V. So after we trace, maybe color letter V, then we go here on the line and write it. So here you go. We do put it back here and we write the letter V. So we did listen to the first one, which is letter U. We did trace it, and also we did write it on the line. The same goes here with number 2. We did listen to letter V. We did trace it, and we write it on the line. Now let's continue the rest of our lesson. Number 3. Now let's listen to the letter with number 3 so we can trace it and also write it. The letter is in number 3 is W. W. So the letter W. So here what we need to do is to trace letter W like this. Here we do trace letter W like this. And then we go back here on the line and write it as well. So here you go. Here we do write down the letter W. as you can see here. This is how we write letter W on the line. Now, let us move on to next, number 4. Let's listen to the letter with number 4. After we listen, we're going to trace and write. So the letter with the number 4 is letter X. Letter X. So the letter X, here we need to trace letter X like this, to trace letter X like this, and then we write it down here in the line. We trace it, maybe we color it a bit, and then after we finish tracing, then we go on the line and write it. So this is how we write letter X. This is how we write letter X. So it is important that we keep tracing and also we keep writing the letter on the line. So like this, we do trace the letter, and then we can copy it on the line. Now, as for the 2 final letters, let's listen and then we trace and copy. So number 5, the letter is Y. Letter Y. So here you go. Here we have letter Y. We go like this. We trace the letter like this. And after we finish tracing, now it is time for us to write it here on the line. So we do write letter Y like this. And we trace it, letter Y. And now we move on to number 6. Let's listen to the letter we have to in number 6, and then we're going to trace it and write it on the line. So with number 6, the letter is letter Z. Letter Z. So here, what we need to do is to trace letter Z like this, and then we go back here on the line and we write it here. Letter Z. So very well. So what we did now is that we traced all of these letters. First we listened to them, we traced them, and also after this we write them on the line. Now we're going to do something different. What we're going to do now is that we're going to listen to 6 words, not letters. And then after we listen to these 6 words, what we need to do is to write only the first letter, to write only the first letters of these words. So let's first listen to these words, say them again, and also we start practicing. So the first word we have here is the word umbrella, umbrella, and vase, vase, wolf, wolf, fox, fox, yard, yard, zebra, zebra. Very good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to listen to one of these 6 words. And once we listen to the word, we need to write only the first letter of these words. Are you ready? So let's begin. The word with number 1 is the word zebra, zebra. So zebra starts with, or the first letter with the word zebra starts with letter Z. Then here we go. We go here and write letter Z. Letter Z. Very good. Now let's listen to the second word. The second word we have is the word yard. Yard. So the word yard starts with letter Y. Very good. So here you go. Here the first letter is letter Y. So here we go here and write letter Y. Now let's listen to the third word. Let's listen to the third word. The third word is wolf. Wolf. So, wolf, the first letter of the word wolf is letter W. So here we need to go and write down letter W. So, letter W. Very good. So, we did write the first letter of zebra, yard, and wolf. Now, let's listen to the fifth or the fourth word. The fourth word is fox. Fox. So, the first word of the word fox is letter F. So, let's go here and write down letter F. Letter F. Very good. Now, let's listen to the fifth word. The fifth word is the word umbrella. Umbrella. So, umbrella starts with letter U. So, here we go. We go here and write the letter U. Letter U. And next, number 6. So this is how we write letter U. Now, will leave us with one final word, number 6, which is vase. Vase. And the first letter that the word vase starts with is letter V. Letter V. So here you go. This is how we do this exercise. We listen to the words, and also it is important that we did trace the first or write down the first letter we hear. So now, at the end, it is important that we are able to trace the first letter we hear and also to write it on the line, as this will help me to practice my English properly. So now we have reached the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.